All right, so it is 5:05, so right on the dot, so we can go ahead and get started. So we're Solar Eclipse Safari, as you know, from the emails that Naturi and I and others in our team have been sending back and forth with y'all. And we're excited to go through this ambassador training. And if you're watching this recording, hi, nice to meet you. We're so excited to be working with you. So kind of the outline that we're going through. So if you're watching the recording, you can skip through, watch certain things, and watch others later as needed. So we're going to start by talking about the recruitment, and then we're going to talk about how you're going to prepare your participants by talking about the location, your Eclipse glasses, animal behavior, and data collection. Then we're going to be showing you important links that we'll also have in our follow-up email that we will send either this evening or tomorrow after this webinar, along with the recording. And then any questions that y'all have, we'll be happy to answer in the best of our ability. And if we can't answer them, we will email you shortly with the answer. So we would love for, I guess everyone kind of already did this, but if you haven't already, if you could type in the chat what kind of institution that you are working with, so whether that's a museum. Oh, and here's the poll. So we'd love it if participants could kind of just vote on the poll of where they're working with, and we'd be happy to know. And if you didn't know, these are all the different institutions that we are working with to study animal behavior during the total solar eclipse. So it's very exciting.
I think those are the final results. So you got a good mix of people.
Yeah, definitely. We have just with the people here, we have quite a good mix. And if you're in the other category, feel free to drop in the chat what your organization is.
So we do have a question in the chat. Jacob asked Emma which organization she is with. So she is with our host website, SciStarter, which is kind of where this whole activity is housed. Emma, if you want to say a few things.
Yeah, sure. And I think part of that was in reference to why or where I'll be in Missouri too. So I am visiting as a SciStarter person. So SciStarter is a database of citizen science projects, and the Solar Eclipse Safari is a citizen science project. And so we're, as was mentioned, we're hosting it on the website. And I'm representing SciStarter at a location. I'll be in Jackson for working with the Jackson Public Library and the Jackson Uptown to support them with multiple citizen science projects. So that's who I am. If you have questions about citizen science on any regard, let me know and I can help you understand and give you more resources.
Yeah, Emma, do you want to like drop your email in the chat, or we can and we can also put that in the follow-up email just for anyone who's interested in future projects.
Yeah, and there is an Eclipse, actually, I'll send you, and this actually, the Ambassador project counts for this too, but 1 million acts of science is what's coming up in April. It's Citizen Science Month in April, and so all Eclipse projects, including this one and all the others, if you were to go to 1millionactsofscience.org, you can actually use it, use this project to report it and help us add up to 1 million at the end of the month. So I'll plug that at the end too.
Awesome. Okay, so let's just continue on with the presentation. So like I said in the outline, we're first going to talk about recruitment. So for recruitment, we are looking for as many people as possible to join us as participants in collecting data. So as ambassadors, you'll be responsible for leading and facilitating these participants with the data collection wherever you're stationed. And so we just want to make sure that when you're leading, that it's an inclusive environment and that people are safe and that people know how to use the data sheets, which we'll talk about later. And so on the right, you see an infographic that we have made. This will be in the follow-up email that you can use to send out to your participants to sign up and to kind of tell them more about what we're doing and to get them interested. So we would love to know through a poll what the age ranges of your participants are. So we're looking for a wide range of age ranges. And so we would love to know who you're working with, and we're super excited to work with all different ages of participants. And if it's more than one, that's okay too. You can just pick whichever one that you're working mostly with.
Sorry, 100% participation. I'll share the results. It's 22% of you working with 5 to 12, and then the majority of you are 18 and older working with those volunteers. Interesting gap, 13 to 17.
Yeah. And that looks great. And we know ambassadors that couldn't make it today that will watch the recording that are working with 13 and 17-year-olds. So we have a good mix. So, Natari, you want to take?
Yeah. Okay, sorry. I thought you were. Yeah, so next we're gonna really hop into like location and diving into that. So with location, please ensure that your participants and you are just basically observing animals that are exclusively outside. And when we say exclusively outside, there is some flexibility to that in the sense that like some animals we know may have maybe in like an animal house or like, you know, outside, but like under a shed or a shelter, and that's fine as long as they can kind of see the eclipse in the sun. As long as they can see the sun and see the eclipse coming over, that is really what we're trying to get. So, yeah, that should be fine. And then hopping into eclipse classes. So we want to make sure that you guys all remind your participants to bring their own glasses. And this is really important to make sure we keep everyone safe by not looking at the sun. If you want to look at the sun, use glasses. Yeah, they should be able to be found on any, just look them on Google. And there's some on Google, like Amazon, some at some science websites, but please ensure that they are all wearing eclipse glasses. On to observing animals. So any animal would be great to observe, which includes zoo animals, animals in the wild, squirrels, deer, domesticated animals, cats, dogs, just household animals, farm animals, cows, goats, any animals you find on farms. These are all great examples of animals to observe. However, when observing, participants should really only be focusing on one animal, and each participant's animal should be different. So not as in different like classification, but like just different, like if there's two cats and there's two people, each person should be observing one of those cats.
Different
really
individuals.
Yeah, different individuals. Thank you, Rachel. Yeah, so that's a good thing to keep in mind. And then moving on to animal behavior. Rachel, do you want to take over?
That's me, yes. So the data sheet that you'll be working on, whether it's paper or digital, will have 9 pre-listed behaviors. And I can just do a quick overview of those. But I do want to point out that there will be places to put notes in, and you can talk about other behaviors that might not be listed that you kind of struggle to categorize. So there will be some spaces for that. And I have photos of that data sheet in a second, but essentially moving fast would be running, something like that. Moving slowly, just slowly walking. And then moving fast would be running. So I think those are pretty self-explanatory. Laying down, also self-explanatory. They could stay laying down before, during, and after, or they could suddenly lay down during the eclipse. Definitely something you could write a note about. Eating, we all know eating. I would also include maybe drinking or chewing in eating, and then point that out. Pacing or repetitive behaviors. Chewing might even be included in repetitive. Pacing is when they're walking back and forth, or running back and forth, just something over and over again. Standing still, they just don't move, but they're standing. Positive social interactions would be, for example, headbutting each other, if it's like a cat, or purring. Sometimes positive interactions include, making noises, but of course there's a separate category for that. So just kind of keep that in mind. An aggressive social interaction would be, for example, a cat hissing or pawing at another individual, and stuff like that. So it's really important when you do have these interactions, if you are unsure where to categorize them, do your best to kind of make a good estimate, and then write a note about it. You can say, this cat lifted its paw at another individual. I don't know if it was aggressive, but you listed it as aggressive. If you want to go to the next slide. Yeah, I'll go. You can go to the previous one. Yeah. So let's just ask this poll really quick, or I guess this is actually a chat question. If you guys can just kind of let us know what kind of animals you are planning to look at your site, that would be awesome. Birds, awesome. Just birds? Your dog? Um, anyone else? Bison and elk? Wow, that would be awesome too, to see how they react. Big cats, Columbus. Awesome, primates, yes. We'd love that data. Hippos, birds, fish, possibly chickens, cows, and house pets. Great. Fantastic. That is a great wide range. Oh my gosh, cattle. Awesome. Yeah, that's a great wide range of animals that we really would love to get data on. We truly would love to get data on any animal, so it doesn't matter, but these are really cool animals. Very cool, guys. Okay, so for data collection, like I mentioned, there's two ways. You can do digital, or paper. So the digital would be our Qualtrics, which we have linked for you guys at the end, as well as the link all over our website. The digital is also linked on our paper copy that you can download and print out. And then once you fill that out, the paper copy, you would upload it to the linked Qualtrics at the bottom or at the back of the sheet. And if you, hold on, I do want to point out two things. You definitely should be ready to start watching your animal and taking notes and observations at the very least 1 hour before the maximum, because we would like to have that observation data throughout time points leading up to the peak. I also want to mention that children can participate. I know we had some that are including children, but we don't think that they cannot submit the data on their own. We can't have like emails of children. So if you could submit that for them, that would be great. Okay, so this is our data sheet. This is the one you would download to print out. And as you can see, there's linked files there for you. So in the instructions, it'll tell you how to start, where to start, and essentially how to fill out this whole sheet. I do want you to make sure that you keep those links in mind, because at the end, you will have to submit it. You'll have to scan it and submit it digitally. And we don't want you to forget about that. Let's point out cloud cover for a second. It's a small little, oh, I don't have the pointer. It's a small little column there on the right. And I just wanted to explain exactly what cloud cover means. So here's the levels. This is the exact page you're going to be looking at. So at the bottom, you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so 1 is going to be a completely clear sky, no clouds in sight. And then the rest you're going to think like 25, 50, 75%. So number 2 would be few clouds. So that's maybe like 25% of the sky has some clouds, just a little bit. 3 would be scattered clouds. So maybe like 50% of the sky has some clouds in it. 4, mostly cloudy, 75%. And then 5 is overcast. You can't see the sky at all. It's just completely cloudy. We're hoping we don't get that. But definitely make sure to put those numbers for your cloud cover when you're taking these observations. And then if you want to hit the next slide, here's the end of the printed data sheet. So that's that little link there where you would upload this data. I also want to mention that after you upload it, the paper copy, or after you finish the digital version with your data, there will be a survey to fill out about your experience, and that is very important for us. So if you could please remember to fill that out and tell your participants to fill that out, that would be awesome. Oh, real quick, I do want to note that there's the notes side where if you are finding a behavior and you don't know how to categorize it, or you definitely want to point out that it's a little odd, definitely write those notes on the right side of the data sheet. Okay. And if you have questions, please just put them in the chat and I'll do my best to answer them as I'm going along. Here is a little snapshot from our website that is where you could go to digitally fill out this data sheet, as well as to log your data from the paper form once you scan it to upload it. Okay. So these are our important links. And like we said, you'll get a copy of this PowerPoint, and hopefully these links will work and you can click and go directly to these videos. So we have our promo video kind of advertising what we're doing. We have a data sheet training video, which will go into much more depth on how to fill out that data sheet and hopefully answer any questions you might have. We also have our Eclipse timing video, which will kind of teach you how to kind of gauge where we are as far as the eclipse goes, like 5 minutes before, etc. And then also a link to that infographic. We are currently working on a video for behavior so that you can kind of understand different behaviors a little bit more. That is in the works and should be out soon. Definitely will give you time in advance. It'll be out soon. But it should go over everything and answer any questions about that as well. Okay. So with that, are there any resources you would like to see that we haven't already provided? And you can just throw that in the chat. Or questions, either one. And you can email us if you think of anything after the fact, but I'm hoping that all of our training videos and this PowerPoint will answer and cover any questions you might have, or you know, any thoughts How will our how will our participants be able to view the results of this study? That might be Rihanna answer. But as far as the animal behavior goes, my lab is going to work on, quantifying those behaviors, and of course we'll type up an article and hopefully get that out for publishing. I'm not sure if it was mentioned, but my lab did a previous study similar to this back in 2017, and those results are up and published in a very nice article that you can find. I'm not sure if it's on our website right now, but I think it's one of the only articles published at a zoo. So it would be Heartstone Rose, the Eclipse 2017. I'm sure you could find it and kind of give you an idea of how we'll be publishing those results. As far as everything else, maybe Brianna and Naturi.
Yeah, so the 2020 Heartstone Rose paper, any ambassadors I've communicated with, I've likely directed them to that paper. But we can also put that in the follow-up email, just if anyone's interested. And based on participants and ambassadors viewing data, we will send that out to participants that we have emails for, and then all of our ambassadors after we analyze data. Of course, names and stuff like that will be anonymous. But once we get stuff analyzed, we will be happy to send that out and continue to communicate with y'all about everything. Because we want to continue to keep y'all connected for future projects and endeavors.
I'm including the paper in the chat. And of course, this study is a bit different because we're doing so much citizen science and we're going to different zoos and including a lot more data. But that one I linked is kind of the first step into all these Eclipse studies.
Yeah, and we can also, we actually have a paper that was just published. Was it March 4th? That was just published. We can also link that
Okay,
in the follow-up email.
from the annular eclipse.
No, it's basically a broad explanation of why the study is important and what we're doing in this study.
Gotcha. Is there a way to know the survey questions ahead of time? We were going to have the digital reporting option available, but wanted to offer a paper observation sheet that we could have our volunteers enter for people that may not want to submit their own. We're trying to make it more appealing to visitors that may not normally participate. I don't know.
So we'll
Brianna?
have a paper option. The
Yeah,
survey
but they
questions
wanna,
ahead. Oh, the survey
yeah,
questions. Okay, I see
yeah.
that now. We can definitely talk to the rest of our team and get back to you on that. I can write a note about that shortly after this, but Heather, we can get back to you on that. I can email everyone about that. Yeah. And if for whatever reason I don't get back to you, which I made a note of it, so I will, feel free to email Solar Eclipse Safari. Do we have any other questions?
So I just want to mention one more time that all those training videos will be linked on this PowerPoint as well as the website. And that understanding behavior video will also be linked on the website. As it's not ready yet, it won't be on this PowerPoint, but just keep an eye on that. It will be soon. It should be in the training section.
And if for whatever reason you can't click on it in the presentation, they will be hyperlinked in the email that we send out again this evening or tomorrow morning. So if you have any troubles at all accessing the videos or anything, feel free to email us and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Okay, did we want to allow them to exchange emails? Or kind of
Oh yeah, I think that's a good
finish it
idea.
up here?
I think we should open the floor for that. We could wrap it up. I
Okay.
think, yeah.
Okay, so with that, I think we're done. There's really no more information that we have left to present to you. However, if you guys would like to kind of exchange emails in the chat for a little bit or talk to each other, please feel free to do that.
Forgive me if I missed this, but is there going to be some form of live interaction with each other during the eclipse, like across the path, since it starts at different times?
Um, I don't think we had anything planned for that.
That's a good idea though. That's a good
Mhm.
idea.
So we're
It's just
exchanging
we'll be
emails.
focusing, yeah, yeah. We'll just be focusing so hard, like during the actual eclipse itself, on these animal observations that I don't think it would be wise to be chatting right at that time. But I think, before or after.
Definitely. Yeah, that makes sense. Don't want to be distracted while you're observing. For
Right.
anyone who does end up using social media, for example, if you use hashtag 1,000,000 acts of science in any of your posts, it'll actually be posted to the SciStarter page. So that's either a warning or a go for it type of statement there, but I can show you what it looks like too, where it would be listed. But if that's of interest for the sake of communicating during the event, we can always help you promote that too.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, well, thank you everyone so much for coming. We really appreciate it. And we're so excited again for the total eclipse and for working with y'all. And we're so thankful and fortunate to have y'all. And yeah, just email us if you have any questions at all. And
Yep.
see you
Thank you
later.
guys so much. Have fun.
Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah.
I'll go ahead and stop the recording.